I did my hair for this video. I did my makeup for this video. I will tell you one thing that I did not do for this video, change my clothes. I've been wearing these clothes for the last 48 hours. That's life, you guys. Welcome to my journey. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, want to let you know right off the bat, I normally don't sound like this. For folks who've already seen some of my videos, hopefully you can attest. But man, this last week has really been one for the books. So right off the bat, the reason that I didn't give you guys a 15-week update last week is because I got hit real hard with bronchitis, which is not fun on its own, and let me tell you, it's even less fun when you're pregnant. So I have just been like down for the count for the last week. I got sick, and then as a result, Charlotte got sick. So dealing with a toddler who's sick while you're also really not feeling great is really, really rough. But we made it through. I'm in the, the final stretch of getting all of this stuff out of my system. So let's just give you guys an update on how I've been feeling, what the heck happened this last week, and what things are looking like going into week 16 of this pregnancy. So earlier this week, I started to get kind of a scratchy throat a little bit. I had a little bit of a cough starting on Tuesday. Wednesday, it got just a little bit worse, and then by Wednesday evening, I was like, man, I really think I'm starting to get sick. Like, I really don't feel good. And sure enough, I woke up Thursday morning, and I was so sick. The thing that was probably the scariest out of all of it was that I was having a really hard time breathing. I've always had asthma since I was a little kid, but haven't really needed any inhaler or anything for several years now. But it was like really scary. I was having a really hard time breathing. So I think normally if it had just been me and I wasn't worrying about being pregnant, I probably would have just kind of slept and not worried about it. But I did end up going to urgent care, so they tested me for the flu. That came back negative, thankfully. And then she checked my breathing and everything. She did say that I was oxygenating pretty well. I think I was oxygenating at like a 98% out of 100, which is, obviously not 100, but it's not terrible. But she did want to put me on, or she wanted to give me a breathing treatment while I was in the office. She wanted to give me an albuterol breathing treatment. She did tell me that it's a Class C classification. So in pregnancy, you have to be mindful of the different classes of medications because some of them you can't take while you're pregnant. I'm pretty sure that all Class C means is that they haven't done any sort of like studies on pregnant women taking those medications. But I did call my doctor. I also asked a bunch of you guys on Instagram, so thank you guys for everybody who responded. But I asked you if you had ever had to take albuterol while you were pregnant, how you felt about it, if anything happened to the baby. All of you guys said it was no big deal. Somebody mentioned that their husband is a pharmacist and he said like totally fine. I also called my doctor. He said it was a totally fine thing. So all seemed good. I actually didn't end up getting the albuterol treatment in the office because I hadn't talked to my doctor yet. But she prescribed me an albuterol inhaler so that I could use that if and when I felt I needed it. So I had that with me, which was really nice. And then I just ended up going home and sleeping for the rest of the day. My mom was here watching Charlotte, and so I just slept for the rest of the day. I couldn't really drink much. I didn't have an appetite at all, so I didn't really eat anything at all for that day. Just slept as much as I possibly could. And then the next day, so that was Thursday, and then Friday I woke up and I could breathe a little bit better, which was good, but still was feeling really, really run down. So my mother-in-law came over to watch Charlotte again for that day so I could still rest. But as the day progressed, I started feeling better and better throughout the day. I started to feel a little bit achy, had a little bit of chills, so I honestly don't really know what it was. I suspect that it was probably just a cold that for me, because I'm pregnant, it turned into bronchitis. But it seemed to kind of start relieving itself pretty quickly. The one lovely thing that I'm now left with is this voice, so hopefully that'll go away in a few days. And I still have a little bit of a cough still going. But I mean, it's nothing too crazy. But the crappy part is, I'm sure if you have kids at home, you know, when you get pregnant, or not when you get pregnant, when you get sick, it's really hard to keep your kids from also getting sick because, like, obviously as the parent, you're with them all the time, especially with a toddler. And my toddler in general, she's really, really clingy to me all the time. She always wants me to be holding her, carrying her, playing with her, like everything. I have to obviously like blow on her food when it's too warm. She always wants to share drinks and stuff. So I was trying as hard as I could to make sure that we didn't share anything. I didn't give her my drinks, didn't share food with her. I tried to keep a like good distance away from her as much as I possibly could as a mom. I didn't kiss her on the mouth, like literally nothing. And she unfortunately still ended up getting sick. So she started getting sick on Friday. So as I was like kind of coming off the sickness, she started getting sick on Friday evening. She started spiking a little bit of a fever. So we gave her some Motrin on Friday night before she went to bed, hoping that would, you know, relieve things. But she woke up on Saturday morning and was just burning up. So all day on Saturday, we were switching off Tylenol, children's Tylenol and children's Motrin every 4 hours to keep her her temperature at bay, her fever. But at one point it spiked all the way up to 104.6, which is really, really high. They say if it gets past 104, you should take them into urgent care or to the hospital. But we called my pediatrician. I did tell her that every time we give her medication, it seems to bring down her fever. And so she said, as long as it doesn't get up to 105, it's okay for us to keep her at home and still just continue monitoring it and giving her medication. So that's what we did. We snuggled all day. As much as obviously I hate seeing my child sick and feeling miserable and uncomfortable, you know, as a parent, you take any opportunity that you can to soak up all the snuggles, and she was so snuggly all day, which was really nice. So we just stayed in bed, we watched TV, we watched movies. My husband also stayed home, and all three of us just laid in bed, which was really, it was under horrible circumstances, but it was such a great like family time. I don't know. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. So she went to bed last night. I set my alarm to wake up to check on her and give her more medication. And so I woke up 4 hours after we had given her last dose, and she didn't have a fever, so I didn't give her anything. But I was really nervous that she was gonna then spike a fever without me knowing. So I set my alarm for every hour from there on out until we woke up the next morning just to keep checking on her. And now today she's all good to go. She doesn't have a fever anymore. She's still a little tired. We put her down for a nap about 2 hours early, and she's been sleeping for about an hour and a half so far. So I think she's still a little tired. Her appetite's still not quite there, but no more fever, and she's feeling a lot better. So back to her spunky self. So yeah, all in all, hopefully, I hope that none of you guys or your kids get hit with this, because it was miserable while it lasted, but it did only last for a couple of days, which is, I'm really, really thankful for. And Dan hasn't gotten sick yet. So fingers crossed he does not get sick. He has a bachelor party to go to this next weekend, so he would not really appreciate it if he was sick for that. So that's kind of my life update for this last week. It's just been dealing with everybody getting sick and having to go through all of those motions. It was really scary for me for a little bit there in terms of the pregnancy. I actually ended up losing about 3 pounds while I was sick because I just had no appetite. I couldn't eat anything. I was trying to eat, but I just couldn't do it. So I ended up losing 3 pounds. Don't you worry. I took it as a challenge to make sure that I regained those 3 pounds in about 48 hours. So we're doing good now. I had lots of yummy food over the weekend, and I've gained all of that weight back. But yeah, I was a little bit scared. So I was checking, I have a little handheld Doppler. I was checking that Doppler a couple of times a day just to make sure everything was okay with baby and all of that. And she seems to be doing just fine. And the doctor said not to worry about it. She'll, you know, she's going to take from me what she needs. I'm kind of like the last one that gets any sustenance while I'm sick. So she seems to be doing just fine. Heartbeat is totally normal. I will share that Doppler though, because it's freaking phenomenal. I had a different handheld Doppler when I was pregnant with Charlotte, and it was the worst thing ever. I have it right here. So this is the Doppler that we have. I got this from the like FSA store. So I'm gonna check and see if I can find it on Amazon or something, and I'll link it below if you're interested. But this one, I started using it when I was like 11 weeks pregnant, and I could already hear the heartbeat. Like, this thing is amazing. And it gave me so much peace of mind while I was sick, and just generally peace of mind, you know, while I'm going through this pregnancy. So love this thing. And then the other thing that I think is amazing, it's not for everybody because this thing has our super high price tag, I'll tell you that, is this thermometer that Dan found at CVS. So we had a different thermometer that's one of those ones that like just reads their forehead for your kids. And it was okay. I got it off Amazon. It was like 30 bucks, but I have no idea where it is. It's like gone now. Charlotte's awake. So he had to go run out and get another one because Charlotte was sick, and he found this one. It's from Braun. He found it at CVS. He said it was like $100. Like, this thing is not cheap, but it is amazing. You don't even have to touch their forehead. Here, I'll show you how it works. So you turn it on. This is the screen. You just set like the age of the kiddo. And then when you're ready to use it, it turns this like light on, and you just put the light on your forehead. You don't even have to touch your head. Press the button. And I'm at 98.6. Can you see that? 98.6. It's amazing. And if you have a toddler who hates anything to do with the doctor, even getting their temperature checked, this is a really, really awesome thing to have. So I'll link it below just in case you're interested. Like I said, I don't think everybody's gonna be interested in getting a $100 thermometer because that's a little stupid. But it was the only one that they had at CVS. So there you have it. And it's actually amazing. It's really cool. Okay, so let's get into a couple more updates. So really the only other updates that I have for you guys are weight gain and then some skin updates. So I obviously checked my weight and lost weight while I was sick and then gained it back. All in all though, I apparently have only still gained about 5 pounds throughout this whole pregnancy. So I'll be 16 weeks in 2 days. So, 16 weeks in, I've still only gained about 5 pounds, which I feel pretty good about. I do want to make sure that I'm consistently gaining at least like half a pound every week from here on out. But so far I've been able to still eat pretty healthy. I've been able to, I really don't have very many cravings, which I feel really lucky about because I was craving all the sugar all the time when I was pregnant with Charlotte, and it was just like horrendous. I think I gained a total of 45 pounds when I was pregnant with Charlotte throughout my whole pregnancy. And it was a lot. Like I felt uncomfortable. I felt big and bloated by the end of it. It was hard for me to lose all of the weight. So I wanted to be a little bit more mindful of how I was eating and just like keeping myself healthy through this pregnancy. And so far it seems to be going pretty well. So if you guys are interested, I could do like a what I eat in a day video at some point. Although it's pretty boring, I have to say. I eat the same stuff like pretty much every day. But if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, yeah, everything seems to be going well. I'm healthy in that regard, so we're all good there. And then the last really exciting update is that my skin is finally like getting back to normal. I think getting out of the first trimester, getting all those like crazy hormones back under control, my skin is finally starting to calm down a little bit. So I don't have like the acne issues that I was having before. And overall, I think my skin just looks pretty good. I haven't noticed any sort of like pigmentation or anything yet. Who knows if that's going to happen or not, but so far everything is looking pretty good. I have to say, so I am a lover of Botox. Love Botox up in my forehead when I'm not pregnant, but obviously when you're pregnant and when you're breastfeeding, you can't get Botox. So I switched up my kind of skincare routine right before I got pregnant, and I feel like it's been doing really well. Like my lines in my forehead seem to not be like super noticeable. These lines right in between my eyebrows are like still totally non-existent. And obviously I haven't had Botox for a while. And yeah, I'm just like really impressed. So I will, I guess I'll leave the stuff that I've been using down in the comments, but I think probably what I'll do at some point is like a nighttime skincare routine. I think I promised that a couple of videos ago anyway. So you guys can see the products that I'm using and how they've been working for me, because I just feel like they've been really helpful, and they're all pregnancy safe. So I've gotten rid of salicylic acid. I've been using glycolic acid for a toner, and then I've been using this really amazing lactic acid peel. Oh my god, it's phenomenal. I like swear by it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the update. I will show you guys my belly before I have to go upstairs, because I can hear that Charlotte is awake from her nap. Okay, so here is the belly. Almost 16 weeks. It doesn't look too much bigger than it did in my last update, but you know, we're getting there. This is the front for you. The side still looks a little poochy down here, but she'll start to fill out. So feeling pretty good. So that is it for this update. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have some really exciting content coming up. I actually have a really big kind of life announcement coming next week, so stay tuned for that. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out with what type of content you guys like. If you're new, please subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. We have quite a little fun, you know, community going on there right now. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I'm always one step behind, wishing I could read your mind, but I'm ready, yeah, never ready. I wish I could have made it stop the first time that you stood me up. I wasn't ready, yeah, never ready.